Hi, everybody. So, today I'm doing a session for Shiloh. It's a chakra removal session. And Shiloh, I want to thank you personally for your open mindedness and willingness to share this experience for others to learn as well. So, I'm going to share what you have said to me, Shiloh, and then we'll get started, okay? So, you say, I've been going through some major life changes recently. I would love to clear my fears and open my heart. I think I've been blocking myself from happiness for too long. So, okay. I'm just reading that here off of my cell phone. I'm going to get relaxed and get grounded and prepare to get connected with you, okay? So I'm just feeling centered and feeling connected to my spirit guides and higher self, to your spirit guides, your higher self, guardian angel. I feel sad right now, but I also feel kind of disappointed. There's red energy, it's just a red glow. It feels like it's glowing upon everything, but what is in this space? What am I looking at here? It's odd. It's like a very long walkway. There's no steps to it, it's just a straight path, but it has a covering like a skywalk. It's out in outer space, is what it looks like. It's attached to a big rounded orb, but it's like a building in outer space, and there's a long pathway or walkway. But where am I in this? I just feel like I'm kind of a face with eyes and I'm glowing red, but it feels like everything has a red glow, even the darkness of outer space. I feel disconnected. I'm somewhere further away. Like, I want to be on that pathway. I want to be out there in the skywalk. And I'm just looking through what is like a window from another orb, another place in time, but I'm not there. I'm not right there where I want to be. This red light is really irritating. It's just, I don't like the way that it feels. I don't like the way that it touches my life or my body. I feel kind of, I feel just irritated. I feel pissed off. I feel pissed off by it. Like, don't touch me. I mean, it's just, yuck. Just don't touch me. It grosses me out. I don't know what it is about the red light. I mean, there's absolutely no sensation to it. It's just light that is resting upon your face, but it is like violating. It's like touching you too much. And unfortunately, the red light is so bothersome, you now have to turn away from the window. You can't go out to the skywalk, you can't look at it, you can't daydream about it, you can't gaze upon it because the red light is way too bothersome. So now you're turning around and going kind of the other way. You are in your own sort of, it's like we're in outer space and the buildings are round, big round orbs, and then they have these attached like straightaways that are just skywalks, and then another big orb, and then a skywalk. It's like, it almost looks like the building blocks for like molecules or like chemistry, like chemistry stuff. Like they have like circle and line all over the place. That's kind of what it's like out here in outer space. You don't have the ability to leave your orb. You don't have the ability to just teleport over there. You don't have the ability to find the doorway, or you're not given the right to leave your space just yet. It feels kind of imprisoning, really. It's cool because there's kind of a science fiction-y like effect to it all. You even have kind of like a science fiction-y like outfit on. It's a dark green color, it's like tight pants, and then a shirt that is also tight. It's dark green, but it has an odd collar to it, and the collar is bright red. The color kind of comes up, like there's the shoulders, and then it kind of comes up and then around. It's not too far out or too wide out, but It's just an unusual turtleneck effect. It's like an upside down triangle. So the colors are like a hunter green, red, and the red color is kind of like a squishier material. It's not the same. And then there's the golden, like a golden line around the red part. Kind of annoyed by it all. You actually don't want to wear anything right now. You just take it all off. You're so annoyed that even the clothes you're wearing are pissing you off or annoying you. It's like, eh, eh. That's how you're acting. You're just like so annoyed. Get the clothes off of me. Even the clothes are touching me too much. That's kind of what it's like. So you're just somehow manifesting the removal of clothes without even like taking them off or anything. They're just kind of coming off on their own. You even feel kind of gross in your own skin. Like, you can't remove your skin, you know? It's like kind of attached to your body. So, I mean, it is you. If you remove the skin, I don't think that's going to be good. Your heart is feeling just kind of at a loss right now. I mean, there's not much more you can remove from your life, but yet it still feels like it still feels like you're being touched by the red light. It's touched by something that just repulses you or just irritates you. It's not acceptable. It feels just really not acceptable. I'm just checking on your heart because your heart is affected, and the more we're looking at this, it's just everything is turning into like an orb around you, and it's kind of containing you inside of itself more than how it felt before. It feels even more containing. You could remove all your clothes, your hair, you could shave it all off. You could remove the skin, you could remove all your bones and the muscle tissues and everything. You can remove it all, but yet your soul is still, your essence is still, your consciousness is still in this orb thing, and it feels like you are, and it feels like there's no getting out. No matter what you get rid of, no matter how much you let go of, you're still there. There's no getting out of this. I mean, that's how it feels. There is an actual skywalk connected to the orb that you're in. You feel like the only one in it. It's big and round, but it feels like it's just you in there. It just kind of unlatches your orb from it, and so you're just kind of out in outer space. And believe it or not, there's like a version of gravity, and you're just gravitating downward right now. It's sort of like an apple falling from the tree, but really, really slowly. You've been let go of. This feels so rude. As now you're trying to look at the skywalk or the walkway, you really wanted to walk on that, and you were never given the opportunity, and it's just so messed up. It makes you want to kick the wall, and so you do. You're back to having clothes on. You got a big boot on your foot. You kick the wall hard. Now you take the boot off your foot and then you throw it on the ground as hard as you can, and you just so like that. Very frustrated. You're looking around, it just feels kind of messy in here. There's nothing here that you really want. It's odd because some of this random scraps, it was just like a bunch of random, like you could imagine, I don't know, like you buy something that's got like a plastic, like you just rip it off and then you throw it on the ground instead of throwing it in the trash. And then you have like random like cardboard boxes and like random weird stuff, like cotton balls that are like strewn about in weird ways. It's like everything in here reminds me of some normal everyday item that you usually throw in the trash, but it's like everywhere in this orb, and it's kind of in a distorted way. Like the cotton ball isn't just a cotton ball or even a used cotton ball. It's like a cotton ball that's been slowly like pulled apart and it's pink. So it's just, things are just kind of unusual, but they're kind of like trash items, but they're not necessarily used. I don't really know how to explain it. This one pink stuff, this is actually not cotton ball-y, but it's more like squishy. Kind of makes me think of bubble gum in a way. It's in an egg, like almost an empty egg carton, but it's like pink bubblegum like stuff in a couple of the holes, egg holes. So you can see it's just random weird stuff. like like do we need the egg carton? That's a recyclable. These cotton balls, well, we might be able to reuse them, or we need to like. There's something about picking up the mess or organizing a mess. But really, is this stuff we need? Being realistic, taking a look at what is really here. Is this who you are? That's the other question. Because you, in a way, do feel like trash. You're pissed off, you're irritated, things aren't working out right for you. Like in this scene, it's like a violation even of everything that you are. And so you, in a way, feel kind of like trash or thrown out or thrown away. And you're in an orb full of like random garbage, you know? Is it really useful stuff? Well, maybe for crafts and stuff like that. But it's kind of, I don't know what its real purpose is, other than to be just like strewn about stuff. There's nothing that means anything to you in here. Like I'm looking for some charm or some treasure that has some meaning to your heart, and there's nothing that actually has any meaning to your heart in here. It's so sad. And you're trapped inside. It's almost like turning into a coffin. It's getting suffocating in here. You are not let go with anything of value to you, anything that is precious to you. It's like blasphemy. It'd be like burying like the highest ruler of Egypt in an empty tomb, or a tomb that's full of like trash. That's kind of what this is like. It's like a creepy like space related tomb, and it's just strewn about random junk in here. There's nothing of value in here, and you also don't really feel valued either. So there's something about your light has kind of been dimmed as well. So it all just stinks. I mean, you really are starting to feel like one with the strewn about garbage, and you feel that way. This like weird like I feel like instead of just being like deep breath, no, I gotta go. That's more what it's like right now. They just gotta just like that. I like again with the annoyance, again with oh my god, like I'm so pissed off right now. Even the thought of being kind of like underwater and blowing bubbles in order to lighten the mood is just, it's not on the menu right now. Manifesting a boot and kicking the wall again is probably more on the menu. Doing energy work to try to calm down the frequency so we can get through this. But I gotta be patient too, you know? Can't just force it to just clean itself up and bam, it looks sparkly and new. No, it doesn't work that way. We gotta actually take the time to understand and to see and to accept and to... There's something along the lines of the story of a person who wanted to be on that skywalk their whole life, and then they were let go. Their lifelong dream has now been to descend in a state of feeling like trash and garbage, and now my life is going to where ... That's, we don't know what the end of the story is, do we? But it's actually a good thing. You really don't want to be attached to that. Trust me, you don't want to be attached to that. The red light alone was not your color, and you don't want to be attached to that. Like, let it go. Own this trash, man. Own this ball, or own this orb, own this destiny of yours. Let it take you where you are meant to go. If you're free falling out there, just let it take you. Let the gravity or the magnetism just take you to where you need to go. Oftentimes, as human beings, we feel like we need to know where we're going next. We can't stand not knowing where we're going to go next. Like, that's not how we live. We need to have a plan, a business model, you know? So that way we're predicting the future. in the now, we don't predict the future. Living in the now, we follow our heart and we choose to be at peace with whatever random event happens next. Because even a business model can go crash and burn at any time. Because earthquakes can happen and hurricanes and war and all kinds of stuff could happen, the security of the ultimate computer system gets hacked and now everything's lost. Like anything can happen, no matter how hard you plan, it can still kind of, get thrown into the fire. And so live in the now is actually a beautiful gift. You need to take a look at what you do have and see that it is precious what you have. Even if it's strewn out cotton ball, it's a crafting material. I mean, it's not used. It's not like it's got like makeup on it or something. It's a clean cotton ball. It's just been stretched out a little bit. We can make a little paper with a bunch of these. We'll just put them together, and now it's like snowmen and a snowy landscape, and now we've made art, you see? So one man's trash is another man's treasure. You see how we transform like one perspective into another, and it just works? Your heart is starting to glow right now. You're starting to feel more peaceful about this reality. You're starting to feel slower, more patient. Time has passed and you're realizing that the red light that was bothering the living daylight side of you is not even accessible. Like it's not there at all. You'll never have to deal with that red light ever again. Thank God. Maybe this change isn't so bad. Maybe it is like one man's trash is another man's treasure. Maybe what felt trashy and violating and annoying and is actually a treasure of an experience that I need to embrace it and work with what I have and find that it can be transformed into art. They show me that you're picking up little pieces, like bits of glitter and some it's like very kid-like and crafty. Like they're little gemstones, and then you could like peel off the back and stick it to a paper, or there are like put glue on it and like stick it on things, and it's like pretty. It looks like a gem, but it's pretend gem. It's pink, and there's like yellow and blue and green. And there's glitter. I feel like crafting. I feel like a crafty, artistic person, but I'm working with kids-like materials. It's not like a crazy professional, like it's gonna be in the Louvre when it's done. It's probably gonna be on the refrigerator when it's done, kind of thing. You do. You spend some time doing things differently. We're just going down, 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 down in your spiritual atmosphere. So if it's the outer space, it's up there. Actually, it's inside of you, and so we're actually going deep, deep down inside of you. And it's slow. It's like time. It's just really, really slow motion as we just slowly descend down, 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 down in your spiritual atmosphere. It feels like weeks have passed as you're finding yourself kind of reborn in a way, and more at peace because you're disconnected. You know that your dream is not going to come true now, that specific dream. And you also are kind of at peace because the red light isn't there and you have your freedom. You may still be in like a red orb kind of thing, but you have the freedom to do whatever you want in this red orb and just to let life happen and to see what comes next without knowing what is going to come next. And in the meantime, you start to take notice of all this trash as maybe something useful, or it could be transformed into some fun experience in order to pass the time. So you are like a kid, and whatever random scraps, you're kind of using them to create like kid-like artwork. Man. This is not good enough because it's not really the life you want to live. Trapped in this stupid red orb. Who knows how many years of my life are just wasting away because I'm going nowhere. The thing is, you are going somewhere. And somewhere is not nowhere. Somewhere does manifest. And you are truly going somewhere. Even if it feels like you aren't, you actually are moving in a direction and you are going somewhere. I can't just break this orb. I can't just take you out of this orb, out of this experience. Bam, you're done now. I have to ride this experience alongside you. I mean, I feel like the density here, we've been going down a long ways. This is really normal, like with chakra removal, to feel like denser spaces and like I'm going down a long ways, and then also sort of breaking or cracking all the shells or letting go of a really heavy energy. So it's like kind of descending into the abyss of the ocean. It's like miles and miles and miles and miles and miles, and like hours and hours and hours and hours and hours downward. But it feels like a really long time without much to do, but this is more like weeks and weeks and weeks. It feels like too long, and you've definitely slowed down energetically. You're definitely more peaceful and more patient. But it's like, how much longer? Because this is, I just don't, I mean, how much longer? I just want to know how much longer. This could be an agony if you were told that it will be for the rest of your life and you will die in here. That would be like the worst thing you could ever hear. But why would it be? Because you have some dream? Well, your dream is not going to come true about that skywalk thing. So, what is your dream now? What do you have to look forward to in the unknown experience, where you don't know what the future looks like and you don't know what will happen next? That's like the most nightmare. That's like a Twilight Zone conversation. That's like, okay, I'm trapped in a red orb and it could be for the rest of my life. It's just simply a question. What would you do if that was the truth? Or that was the reality? How would you feel about that? Would that inspire you to stop making crafts? Would that inspire you to do something? You have no ability to get out of this. So what are you going to do with your time? There's all kinds of, like, this is a little funny, but there's like a bunch of people just suddenly lined up and they're like, I got ideas, I want to tell her, I got ideas. They're writing down on little pieces of paper and trying to get the scraps in through like the walls and like little things that I could try and like get the message to you. I got an idea for her, I've got an idea. There's like 50 like instantaneous little notes trying to get into your orb and get into talking to you. One of these ideas is, okay, you know, what I do for a living. Okay, so if Abbey was stuck inside of a red orb for the rest of my life, what would I do? Okay, let's just say I have enough food to eat and, you know, I can survive in an orb for the rest of my life, just my physical needs met, but I have no entertainment needs. So what am I gonna do? I would totally start meditating, doing yoga, and start trying to astral travel and expand my spiritual experiences. Because that is the one way that I can get beyond this. To escape the humanistic perspective of everything is about survival, about the needs of the body, the wants of the body, the entertainment, all that stuff. But that's really superficial in comparison to what the spirit realm can provide. Most human beings would be like, that's normal. It's normal to want to have a nice car and a house and all this stuff. Well, yeah, but it's also, believe it or not, kind of superficial. Because when you start accessing the spiritual truth of everything, you'll start to realize that cars and houses are really not that important, because they all break down, they'll eventually go away, they'll be dust in the wind, but your soul lives on forever. And your soul is full of stories. Your soul is full of like Arabian Nights. The stories never end. And to have those experiences, to treasure those moments, to astrally project and to discover the universe, this totally, your orb is totally fine now. Like, big whoop-de-doo. You can't imprison me. You can't tell me that I can't be happy for the rest of my life stuck inside an orb. You can't tell me. So it's like life makes us feel stuck in an orb and it's never going to go away. Well, that's when we say life, I own my life. You don't own it. So I can be happy. I can own this experience. So whatever you think that, wherever you think you're taking me in my life, etc., I am in control. It's my soul journey. It's my experience. So there's something here teaching you how to overcome yourself even. This is like kind of dizzying for me because the descent downward in your spiritual atmosphere, it's getting so dense. It's like my head is getting smaller. like you take something down a long ways and it's just like the pressure, like the density is making me feel kind of weird. Like I'm getting dizzy and I'm getting like, oh my god, it's really dense down here. This is very good for you. You super needed this. Not like it's bad in here at all. Like your spiritual atmosphere is pretty. But the fact that I'm still like going down in your spiritual atmosphere, that means everything above this is going to be cleared out. And the fact that I'm still going down all this way, which is like weeks and weeks and weeks of time in the spirit realm, even though it's like a couple of minutes or something, that is like, all of that is going to be gone after this session. All that is just totally vaporized, like it's evaporated, it's nothing. And that's how light you're going to feel. You're going to feel that ridiculously light after all this. It's kind of like a part of you is buried way down, way down inside of you. Some part of you is buried way down inside, and now we have all this crushing, like, materials, soils and rocks and earth and all that, and you're down there. So we need to go break all these layers down so we can pull out your most divine essence and let all that other junk go, right? That's what this is all about. We're just bringing out the most divine essence of you, and it's radiant, but I'm not there yet. Your orb, you inside your orb is hearing everything, and you're starting to understand that there's more meaning to this journey than just you being trapped in an orb and now trying to figure out what to do with your time. You really are starting to you're realizing you are going somewhere. It's not you're just falling into nowhere, but no, you are going somewhere, and you choose to stand up and open your heart, and you say to the universe that I'm ready for you to take me where I need to go. I'm ready now. The spirit realm says, oh, wow, it took you this long. It took you this long, human being, to get over yourself. And now realize that it's okay to open your heart and let us take you where you need to go. Because we couldn't have just taken you there until you went through all that garbage, all that fuss, got disconnected, threw a fit, started doing crafts, started to lose your mind because this is going to be the rest of your life, and then all this stuff happened, then finally you're like, you know what, I am going somewhere, and I'm ready. I'm ready for you to take me there. I am ready now. You see what the journey is about? It's not about, bam, I said I'm ready. Well, you weren't ready yet. When you were looking at that skywalk and you thought you were ready and the red light was pissing you off and all that stuff, that was not actually where you were meant to be. And so, no, you were not ready for that because it has nothing to do with your life right now. It had nothing to do with it. And now you are actually moving in the direction of where you're truly meant to be going, right? And you are ready for this, and you're more ready now than you've ever been before. And your journey, step by step of the process, is getting you there. Somewhere, to that somewhere point, not the nowhere point. It's just a life going nowhere. You've been going somewhere this whole time. I swear you have. You really have been. So let's see. We're almost to like a landing point, and it feels like heavy water. It doesn't feel so much like outer space, but it feels like a water atmosphere instead of space atmosphere. It just reminds me of like really a lot of water crushing you under the weight of itself. There's just so much pressure, The ground is kind of dust, is like a gray dust, and it sort of sprinkles upward when the red orb. It's a big red orb. It's like a total house, but it just slightly lands, and then a little bit of dust kicks up into like the water atmosphere. You're a bit astonished because you really have reached somewhere. But what is this place? It's kind of freaking you out a little bit because it's totally unknown. All you've known for so long was this weird molecule, this weird thing with the orbs and the pathways. That's all you've known in a way. Like that is what your sights have been set on, and now you're like in total foreign territory. Like where are we and what is this? Oh my god. I look up at how far we have come and I touch your shoulder and I say, hey, look. I give you the ability to see how far you have come, and you look and you can't even believe it. In our journey world, I mean, we're looking at a timeline that is such a long timeline. It's like a miracle. Every step of this timeline is a miracle. And in that way, every moment of our lives is a blessing and a gift. And it's not always something we're able to see, but it's the truth. To be who you are today, exactly as you are, is in a way a miracle. And that's so cool to think about it. It's again like another man's one man's trash is another man's treasure. You know, one boring day on earth is another soul's greatest miracle, you know? So it's all about perspective. You tell me I'm glad we have landed somewhere, and I feel like I'm ready to open up, and I want this. I really do want this. That kind of apprehension about new territory and new things was like a little bit jarring at first, but now it's not. Again, there's a very interesting, very unique energy shift going on here in your heart, but also surrounding your energy field, and it's like a little bit of a wibble wobble, but it's really positive. The red orb actually knew its destination. It just wasn't going to tell you. It's part of your journey to not know everything. So the orb now just is like, we're here. And then it goes, and then it opens up like a clamshell. And then we're out. We're totally fine in this atmosphere. It's not destroying us at all. We're totally normal. It doesn't feel watery. It feels airy. Like it feels like I could move here on Earth. Like I could go for a walk. No density preventing me from this. No wind. It's just like a normal kind of place, airy place. You're sad inside. There's nothing growing here. There's nothing really to receive you here. Man. I mean, there's so much density. It feels airy, right? But there's still something about the energy that's really heavy, and it's kind of like a letting go energy, but it's not letting go just yet. It's still trying to translate or process something of the reality of things. Where do I begin? You say to me. It's there's so many weird pictures. Like they try to come in, but they don't make it all the way. It's kind of like all these spirits with all these awesome ideas and messages they're trying to get through to you, but they don't. The messages somehow they can't get them into you. And so they're in this weird place. It's like a grayish dust world. It's like we're living on a planet. It has a very short horizon, so the horizon is really close to us. So we could probably walk around the entire planet in like a week or something crazy like that. But there's nothing growing here. All the while, there is something of like a guru or like a hippie Indian like guru because he looks like an Indian man from India, but you can't necessarily say that because his whole face and everything, he has no hair, he's covered in like what is a mandala? You know, like a pretty picture that's a circle and it has many different circles on it. It's like really colorful and he's got this mandala pattern. I think that's what it's called. But it's really colorful and it's all over his body, and so he's glowing kind of like a really like interestingly colored rainbow man. That he's sitting in like the guru posture as he's levitating above the ground. This guru image has been trying to come in, and it's just like keeps getting echoed out and echoed out and echoed out, and all we see is this barren terrain, and this is the reality, you know? It's like we're back in the red orb, like several weeks ago when we were coming to the realization this is the rest of my life, and now what am I gonna do? And all these messages we're trying to get through to you that there's so much to do, even if you are stuck inside of a red orb for the rest of your life. Believe it or not, it's the human perception of I need, I want, that prevents you from actually discovering the glory, the nirvana, the bliss, the guru moment. The guru is trying to get your attention, but all you see is the gray barren landscape and there's nothing growing here. So what do we do with this? You're gonna feel crazy after the session is done. You're gonna feel this, because I feel this big time. And it's sort of like being a man with like the Empire State Building on your back. All of this energy stuff needed to get totally like smashed. You know, like I'm an awesome kung fu person and we have all these bricks, layers of things, and I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna own it and I'm gonna smash them and break them all in half, and then we'll just get rid of that garbage. That's what your spiritual atmosphere is like. We're all the way beneath all that junk, and it's already like we've been breaking through it. We just like we're going through it like that. But it's still kind of resting there, and until we have the big aha moment or the big hooray, like that stuff is just still kind of there. It's going to get moved here soon enough. I just ignore you. You keep looking at the gray ground, and I just, I really like this guy. I really like this guy. I don't know who you are, but I want to know you. I'm trying to get into his like world, his mandala world or whatever it is. It's really pretty. It's really weird. It's totally weird, It's kind of like he's made out of starburst too. Like I can't get my head roped around this guy, but he's like on another level of awesome and nirvana, and I want to know more about this. And that's what I want to know about. I don't want to know why it's a barren gray landscape and how come nothing's growing here. That's not going to do anything for me or my soul. That's just me looking at the little birdie and being distracted from what really truly matters, which is this awesome discovery of this like starburst Mandela rainbow Indian guru guy that's levitating here. We gotta bring him. I'm trying to bring in that energy consciousness essence more into here. And that means you'll feel it more inside yourself too. We gotta make that louder. I'm turning up the volume on this. I'm turning down the volume on the gray and the nothing grow. We're turning down the volume on that, turn up the volume on this. Now, you say I'm in charge here. I get to decide what I want to listen to, and I really, really need to understand this gray. I really need this. So I tell the guru guy, okay, I guess I hired you, but, you go ahead. We don't need the clown for the party today. Like, it's kind of like weird like that. It's like, oh, the clown don't showed up. Awesome, you're freaking awesome. Okay, I guess the birthday girl doesn't want you today. Okay, see you. That's kind of what it's like. But it's okay. I totally respect your consciousness's decision to understand the gray, because you need to. I mean, your heart is actually saying, I need to understand this. So then we need to understand this. So I'm coming back to the reality again, and I feel like the gray ash reminds me of ashes in an urn. I feel like this whole planet is like full of ashes of people who have died and been burned. Not like burned alive, so they're screaming as they're being burned alive, but it just feels like, it doesn't feel like terrifying like some sort of concentration camp experience, but it feels like there's too many people that have died, and And these are ashes, burial ashes kind of thing. Nothing grows here. You just kind of seem hypnotized by this, like nothing grows here, nothing grows here, nothing grows here. You know, and you take your hand and you touch the ashes, and then you just let them out, and you know, nothing grows here, nothing grows here. I talk to the universe and I say, shall I leave here for the rest of her life to take a look at the ashes and continue to say to herself, nothing grows here, nothing grows here. In a way, then we've never left the red orb. In a way, then now we understand. If you were imprisoned inside of the orb, now it is imprisonment. But if you were to sit on top of the orb, which is like a miniature planet, it is the freedom to choose to continue to look at what is not growing or manifesting, and to never change and never grow beyond this. And now, in a way, become your own ashes, your own burial ashes, to just cake the planet like all the others. You're thinking about this. You tell me, I guess I didn't realize that I felt trapped in the red orb, but I didn't feel trapped here. I felt like I had freedom on this planet to explore it. And that was exciting to me. I didn't feel like I had the freedom to explore inside the red orb. We're starting to discover that the freedom to explore is not now always about what's out there. Sometimes it's about what's inside of here. So to explore who you are, explore your soul's purpose, explore something more profound that creates, you know, the psychedelic Indian guru within. But you have to want to have that in your life. If you don't want to have that in your life, there's nothing wrong with saying no thanks, I'm not ready yet. But then don't feel bad when it's the rest of your life now and there was no psychedelic Indian guru, you know? Again, it's just for thought. It's just food for thought, you know, hypothetical conversations that make you think, you know? I give you a really long hug as you're still kind of entranced by the ashes of this planet. Sometimes you just need a hug and a break. Sometimes getting immersed in these types of thoughts is part of the process too, you know? You say, I want to be free, Abbey. You're showing me a new scene. You're stuck behind the bars of what is like a purple. They're metal bars made out of like a purple color, and it's kind of a cool prison. I mean, it's a cell. I mean, it's kind of cartoon-esque, and it's pretty. I'm on the other side of the prison door. In a way, I would technically have like some key or ability to get you out, but I just stand there and look into the dungeon where you are. On the other side, you're sitting in the shadow and you're crying. I notice that through the shadow, there's something about your face is both painted in black and white, but it's painted kind of like what is her name, like La Muerta, or like the woman of the dead or something. Like she's got kind of like a skeleton, but it's pretty face paint. And part of you feels kind of dead inside, but you're a pretty presentation of death. It's odd because I don't feel, this is really harsh, but this part, this soul consciousness does not feel sorry for you. Because if I let you out of this prison, on the other side of the door, you will sit and you will still say, I want out. It doesn't matter where you are or where you go. What is imprisoning you is yourself. And that will be the death of you. There's nothing in here that says your life is in danger by any means. But it's again this conversation about for the rest of your life. And it's just really kind of heavy, you know, as I feel at a loss as I feel like I'm in the like I'm at the line of your freedom and imprisonment, but if I free you, you'll return to imprisonment within yourself. The red orb verse being on the planet, you're still imprisoned by choice. When you're on the planet, it feels like it's not by choice in the red orb, but it is by choice. Because you feel you don't have any more ideas of what to do with yourself for the rest of your life because the red orb did it to you. But it's an infinite universe. There's always things to do when you have nothing left to do. Sadness, a lot of sadness. It's coming up and out. It's really deep down sadness, really, really deep. Like that long ways down. It's already like, it's already coming out so quickly. Like back to normal. I feel like myself again. Someone says you deserve better than this, and then you receive a hug. But it's actually you telling yourself you deserve better than this. But it's encouragement to find your way to the psychedelic guru that is within you, too. It's creative. It's different. And it's not so invisible as you might think. And it's ready for you when you are ready for it. And sometimes the journey's got to get a little stifling and a lot of different thoughts and feelings and reactions to things before we have finally reached the destination of saying, I'm ready now. And take me to somewhere I need to go. I'm ready for it. Just a lot of like bubbles, massive word bubbles, just like lifting up and out. It feels like a lot of things are just, the air is clearing out and cleaning out. A lot around the mental body too, not just like the heart and the soul and the emotions and all this and the voice and all this stuff. It feels like it's coming out also of the mind everywhere. It's releasing these bubbles. I can feel it, so it like makes me feel like I'm letting the bubbles go. But your spiritual atmosphere is letting the bubbles go. It's doing that. But it's a lot deeper down. And it feels good. You get it. It feels like you are getting it. You're finally getting this. You're sponging it, and it's actually sticking this time, in a way that you're like, okay, there's something about listening to some music that is different than you're used to listening to, and you're turning that music up, and you're saying, it's been a long time since I've listened to that song. That kind of revitalizes my senses. I needed to hear that song. I feel kind of like the old me wasn't so bad, but the new me is going to be even better, and I'm ready. I feel like I've reminisced in enough stuff. I feel like I can move on. Like even so much as just this like odd graveyard. It's a planet, but it's covered in dead body ashes. Like it just feels like it's gone. It has to do with your soul journey. It has to do with you. All the death involved with this has to do with like all the rebirth you've gone through in your own life and in other lifetimes. It doesn't have to do with in specifics people that have recently died in your life, but it feels more so connected to like the death rebirth experience that happens all the time throughout your life, but also throughout your soul journey. Because sometimes it's a sad thing when we have to say goodbye to who we've always been or the person we've always known, and to start learning how to be a different version of ourselves. It can actually make us feel sad, like we have lost a part of ourselves. But instead of going to the funeral of yourself and crying and saying, "Why are you now gone?" you celebrate and wish them well off into the infinite, as you carry on with totally new things that you could not even experience if you were that other person. You're starting to fill with joy. You're starting to take a deep breath. You feel like you can embrace the new now. I mean, you're feeling a lot better. Just letting a lot of stuff go. Energy stuff is sort of blowing out like a dust and sand now. Not like massive big bubbles. Everything is just relaxing and coming to a place of peacefulness. I'm a little out of it. There was a lot of energy sensations going on there. Just take a minute here to get back into my body again. So I'm just disconnecting from you. Alright, Shiloh, you're going to notice yourself feeling way more at peace with your life changes and what you're experiencing. Way less fearful, way more at peace in your heart. Exploring a new version of identity that you'll be able to embrace and celebrate instead of feeling kind of lost in what was, but now I'm able to embrace the new. That's what this whole journey is about, but it's also spiritual messages, because it's not about just the human world or the human experience. It's also about bridging beyond it and having something far more spiritual, and how enlightening and how fulfilling and how extraordinary that can be. No matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, you can always have that, and that can always free your senses and take you to extraordinary somewheres, like you never thought possible. All right, Shiloh, thank you again for this experience and your open-mindedness to sharing. And for those of you watching, if you're interested in a chakra removal session, please visit me at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. Thank you all, and I wish you all a wonderful day.